Good morning, everyone. Just want to first off say thank you to everyone for taking time out of your day today to join us on this webinar. Privileged to have Tim Swoboda from SILAC with us. Going to be a good webinar. Going to do a nice overview on Denali. We're going to jump into a couple of the indexes, talk about them a little bit, and then really talk about some renewal history and see some of the results that have come out of some of SILAC's products. So really excited. Appreciate Tim taking time out of his day as well. So with that, you get to listen to me for just a couple minutes. I promise I'll go quick. I'm going to throw a couple poll questions up, so the quicker we get those answered, the quicker I can move on. But let's start off by talking about our new producer bonus. So when you get licensed with IAMS and get contracted with us, you got 180 days to qualify for this new producer bonus. As you can see, there's 5 different tiers: 100, 250, 5, 750, and a million. And that's off those first pieces of business. IAMS wants to say thank you. The way we do that is by giving you a new producer bonus. As you can see, there's some really great marketing things out here on in front of you. I mean, $250,000 could get you $2,000 of marketing reimbursement dollars. We do 750. We could pay for 8 recorded radio shows or get you 2 seminars. So really great opportunity for us to partner with you right out the gate on some marketing. If you're curious if you qualified or curious how close you are to getting to different tiers, give your marketer at IAMS a call and they can look into that for you. Once you get out of your new producer bonus, um, once you cash that in, we do move you into the marketing reimbursement program. The marketing reimbursement program for all your index annuities, 100,000 equals $100 going to a marketing account just for you. 100,000 of single premium life would put $200 in that account, and 10,000 of life target premium would put $200 as well. So really great opportunity just to consistently be earning dollars in that marketing. I'll give you an example. I had one of my agents been with me for about 4 years now, has never cashed her, or maybe 3 years now, never cashed hers out. And she called me the other day asking if she had any marketing dollars, and she had close to $5,000 of money just saved up in there. So it does work. It, was able to help her pay for a lot of different things. So really great program. Just, it doesn't come out of your commission. It's just us saying, thank you and wanting to partner with you. We also have our referred producer program. For those of you who have been in the industry any length of time, referrals are important. They're important in our business as well. So when you refer an agent to us, $50. When your referral writes their first piece of business, $100. And then going on, as you can see there, the breakdown, you're going to be earning a little bit of a bonus on all the business they write on the life and the annuity side. So this is literally just I'm saying thank you. I know a lot of agents don't want to have to build a hierarchy and don't want to have to take on that responsibility of potentially having to charge back in things. So this is a good way for us to kick back and say thank you. I will mention those checks are paid out quarterly. All right, so back office support. I mean, it's part of our name, insurance agency marketing service. That's our number one goal. We're not looking to be the biggest IMO out there. We're looking to be number one when it comes to service. That means helping you with case design. That means helping you with making sure your forms are in good order. Well, we say submission to commission support. Amber and her team do a phenomenal job, and Cindy on the life side, scrubbing your applications, helping you make sure things are in good order before we get to the home office. Not only that, but then also following up on that business every 3 to 5 business days. We think that's really important. Being able to order those pyramids, chase down medical records on the life side. I mean, really, we want to take all that off your plate. If we can do that, call transferring companies for you and stuff, that'll just make your life better and you can be in the field doing what you do best. On a sales front, like I said, do all your illustrations, get you all your forms, make sure your trainings are compliant, things like that. And then as far as contracting goes, we are on Insurance Bay. So we have a paperless contracting, makes it really easy to add carriers when needed. One-time paperwork, and then you're in the system. For those of you who don't know, we do have partnered with Firelight through our website. As you can see on the screen, all the different carriers that are on Firelight, more and more being added all the time. Makes it really easy, not only for us, for you, and for the home office, as far as makes it easier. I mean, it's really will not let you submit the app until every question is answered. It helps alleviate some of those errors. Um, the good news is, if you're like me, you hate remembering passwords. I hate it. So with IAMS website, you remember one password, and you can apply for any of these carriers on our website through Firelight. So that makes it really easy, a one-stop shop. And we'll talk about the website here in a minute, but we also have iGo eApp and Connect for Medicare. So whether you're doing life, annuity, or Medicare, you can use a single sign-on to our website and handle all those applications. For those of you who may not know, we do have a full service creative team here in-house. So we'll handle everything from new to the business agents, helping them build a brand with logo, stationery, business cards, to doing some print stuff. Maybe you're looking to do a postcard mailing or you want to do a newsletter. More and more, we're seeing more digital stuff being done. Obviously, websites, we can do all the building here. Social media, we're seeing a lot of uptick in the marketing done on social media. Maybe you're looking to do an email drip campaign to all your database. Those are all things that we can handle internally. So if you have a project you'd like to get done, give your marketer a call, kind of let them know what you're looking to do. They will get you connected with the right person in the creative team. On the screen there, you can see our website, www.imsinc.com. A lot of great opportunities out there. I'm only going to mention a couple. Number one, you get access to Annuity Rate Watch through our website. It's a great tool. I use it every day. You're asking for the best guaranteed income. I can go out there and have you an answer within just a couple minutes, and you do have access to that on our website. Access to forms. You do have a term quoter out there where you can do a term quote and go straight to applying for the eApp through iGo eApp. One of my favorite things, though, is our sales resource library. This is a bundle of, it's a ton of material, client-facing, unbranded material that you can utilize out in the field. We can brand it all with your name, your logo, your phone number, but some really great information out there. Maybe you have a client asking, what is a fixed indexed annuity? Well, they've got a 6-page document, white paper, on literally everything you would need to know about an indexed annuity. They've got presentations out there, all sorts of great financial calculators, fact finders. So really encourage you to check that out. If you have trouble finding it, it's under the support tab. But yeah, really great information out there. For those of you who don't know, we do also have an RIA here in this office. IAMS Wealth Management's been around for going on probably 5 years, maybe 5, 6 years now. Really strong part of who we are. I mean, when the DOL was kind of lingering out there several years ago, Stephen Charles said it was time, and we did create the RIA. So Charles Jr. and his team do a great job for our advisors, but we really built it for the insurance producer in mind. The example I always talk with my agents about is if you go into a house and there's $500,000 that the client's got, well, SILAC's only going to probably take 300 of it. So what are you going to do with that other 200,000? You're going to just leave it on the table? That's just an opportunity for another advisor to come pick that up potentially. So we think it's really important to have this outlet available. And while I talk about this outlet, I'm going to throw up the first poll question, because not only, and there's a lot of people who maybe don't want to get their license or are just kind of get coasting through toward retirement, just not wanting to put that much effort into it. We do have a client portion as well. So Zach Reed here in our office does handle our client portion of that. You can refer clients up to us and we will manage those clients for you. The good news is, depending on the state you live in, we might be able to kick back some of that fee that is charged to you. So good way for if you're studying to build AUM while you're studying, because as soon as you pass your exam, we will transfer all those clients directly to you. So we think it's really important not only to have it available for those who want to get licensed, but also for those who maybe don't have a desire but want to be able to service their clients all around. So really great opportunity if you're interested. If you answered yes, all that's going to do is generate a phone call from Duncan in our office. He's going to call, explain the programs to you, and get any questions answered you may have. So with that, We're almost done, I promise. All right, we're going to talk about a trip real quick. So we're really excited. We announced about a year or so ago that we're going to do a Mediterranean cruise for our top producers trip. Really excited about that. As you can see on the screen, we're going to a lot of great places in Italy, Greece, Croatia. It's an 8-day cruise, and we're really excited about it. So $4.5 million points qualifies you for this trip, and we're really, again, super excited about it. If you're curious where you stand, give the office a call. We can get that for you. But we've still got plenty of time. We've got till June 30th of 2022 to qualify. So really excited about that. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about is our Life and Annuity Academy. So these are 2.5-day trainings that we put on for agents who are active in the life and the annuity market and looking to increase revenue. It's really geared towards not annuities 101, not life insurance 101. These are in-depth sales concept techniques, strategies, ideas. How can we help you grow your business? We're going to have a lot of different vendors there talking about their different lead programs. We're going to have a lot of keynote speakers in there. Some of our top producers coming in to share their marketing plans with you. Really, it's geared toward that agent who's looking to grow. And we are going to be doing our first one here next week, actually, up in Des Moines with Athene. So really excited about that. But we've got several planned for next year. Going to be having several right after the first of the year. So if you are interested in potentially attending one of these, go ahead and answer yes to the question, and we'll get you out a registration link for that as well. So with that, I am going to give you guys just a minute to finish off that poll question, and then I'm going to hand it over to Tim. Again, we got Tim Swoboda here with us today, who is with SILAC, and he's going to be sharing with you about the Denali, the indexes, and some of their other things that SILAC has to offer. So with that, Tim, I'm going to hand it to you.
Perfect. Thanks, Laura. Well, good morning, everybody. Hope everybody is having a great week so far. As Laura mentioned, my name is Tim Swoboda. I'm one of the external wholesalers here at SILAC. And we got some pretty cool stuff for you today, especially towards the end. So you definitely want to make sure you stick around. But here is what we're going to talk about today. We're going to be doing an overview for Denali. Denali is really hitting this industry hard. It is doing a phenomenal job at providing not only accumulation but a no-fee income rider. And we're going to talk about how Denali works, but we're also going to talk about our 2 proprietary indices and get into a little bit of the details of how these indices work and how they can really drive that accumulation opportunity on not only our Teton index annuity but also Denali. We're going to look at some case studies, and then we're going to go over some renewal rates, which everybody I know loves to see, and some real interest credits that clients have seen on our policies. But first, before we get into that, I feel it's always important, hey, if you're going to meet somebody new and if you haven't done business with us, here's a little brief introduction about SILAC. So believe it or not, we actually started way back in 1935. We're Utah's oldest active life insurance company. In 2017 was a big pivot point for us. All right, that's where we changed and focused on accumulation annuities. And we were acquired by our parent company, also named SILAC. And in 2018, we said, if we're going to penetrate the market, we got to do things right, and we got to do it really good. We think we did that really good with our first MIGA, where we kept a 4% compound rate for over 11 months. That is key, because with whatever we do, we like to live by being transparent and also consistent. And I think we proved consistency by maintaining that rate. But the train didn't stop there. In 2019, we launched our first indexed annuity. Atlas was launched. 2020, we launched Denali. And then in 2021, we launched the newest index that we have called Raven Pack. And we actually jumped to become one of the top 5 FIA companies for independent agents. So when we look at our rankings, here they are. All right, we're number 4 for independent agents, and we are actually ranked number 7 for index annuities on all FIA channels. Think about that. We've only been in the indexed annuity space since 2019, and we have jumped that high. There is something to be said. Now, we are a B+ with a positive outlook. Don't let that shy you away from doing business with us, because if you look at our financials, they're extremely, extremely strong. with an over 106% solvency ratio. And guess what? We are sitting with AM Best again this year and really hoping for an upgrade. So you definitely want to stay tuned to see what that result is. I know I'm excited, and I hope everybody is excited to see where we're going to land with AM Best this year. Now, with that being said, let's get to Denali, right? That's why everybody's on this call. We want to learn about Denali. We want to see how it works. We want to see how it's competitive. But first, I have to set the stage for Denali. And when we looked at creating a new product, all right, we looked at these old income rider products. And this is typically what you saw. So the green line is the income base, the blue line is the account value, and that gray line is that minimum guarantee. But when you look at the green line, right, that was that phantom account. So it was, hey, this is your money, but it's not your money until you turn it on. So it's a really, really strong value, right? But it's not liquid. And it can lead to confusion when somebody compares it to their account value. And what we saw in these older products and these products that are out there today, the account value is a lot lower because of maybe fee erosion, maybe the caps and rates aren't that good. So it's a really lopsided effect. And when we saw this, we said we need to create a product so we can do retirement different than the rest. So we don't have these lopsided benefits and the client's money is real all the time. That led us to the dream of Denali. When we do things, we throw all of our eggs in the basket and say, look, what should we do with Denali? So we said, look, we want to create something that not only has really strong commissions, but also strong premium bonuses. We want to be the leader, all right, with strong caps. We want lifetime income, but keep it simple. Keep it simple. That is key for us. We want everything to be as simple as possible. But the best part about the Denali wish list is that we wanted to make sure a benefit was kept real. And I saved that last bullet point on purpose, with no fee, okay? Well, we think we knocked it out of the park, because when we looked at Denali and how it worked and how it was created, we could check mark every single wish item on our list off. And to lead to the Denali goals, we kept it clean and simple. We laser focused, all right, Denali on not only retirement, but also competitive income. And there's that key word again. We wanted to make sure that if we could do this, we wanted to keep it consistent. So not only is it great the first year, but many years later that the client is going to have this policy. Here are the basics, all right? We have 3 different chassis. We got a 7, 10, and 14 year. Our 7-year, it goes up to age 90. Now, before any of you can ask the question, Tim, you said income rider. Does that income rider go up to age 90? Yes, it does. And guess what? We also have a wellness benefit, just kind of getting out of order. That also goes up to age 90. Now, the 10 goes up to age 85, 14 up to age 80. Max premium is $1 million. But look at that middle column there. We do allow for additional premiums in the first 12 months. All right. Now, you're probably thinking, do I get paid on that? Yes, you as the agent get paid on those additional premiums. And guess what? If the client is in a bonus product, the bonus goes to those additional premiums as well. All right. So that's the basics of Denali. Clean and simple, very similar to our Teton policy if you have ever seen that. But again, we got you covered, whether you want a long-term or a short-term product. And a max issue age of age 90 in an income rider space is pretty big. Now, to kind of set the stage, and I kind of do this on purpose early, and I really hope everybody was sitting down, because you might fall over when you're looking at some of these, all right? But these are the current rates. Look at the 14-year. We got a 3% fixed rate, over 100% par rates, all right, on our Atlas and Raven Pack. But take a look at the S&P 500, a 7% cap. 5.5 on a 7-year with over 100% par rates on our Atlas and Raven Pack. We got you covered for extremely competitive accumulation opportunities with our caps and rates on the Denali series. Now on the bonus, you're going to see that all the bonuses are banded, okay, on the very top. So depending upon the issue age of the contract, that's where that bonus is going to fall in. But a 10% bonus on a 14-year, a 5% on a 7, and still followed by some really strong competitive caps and rates, all right? Now, they're not as high as the non-bonus product. We all know why, because we're giving the client that jump start in that bonus, but still really, really strong caps and rates. Now, to get into that, you might be thinking, Tim, How do you work and how do you develop a product that has no fee, that has these strong competitive rates, right? And offers the client lifetime income with the wellness benefit. This is how it works. When we look at creating products, all right, we want to look at where this unnecessary drag is. And really, the unnecessary drag came down to, well, on our Teton policy, we have cumulative withdrawals. Let's remove the cumulative withdrawal portion and put it back into the product. That can raise it up. But we also have a unique interest and bonus recovery structure. Now, a lot of people think this is a bad idea. It's really not, right? We give you the opportunity to choose a short-term or a long-term, but it only applies if the client leaves early or takes an excess withdrawal. It's strictly client-driven, okay? So if the client is making the commitment to stay with us, it's not going to happen. But here's how the bonus and interest recovery works. Just to be clear, okay? Now on the 7-year product, we're going to look at an example. Let's say they put in $100,000 and the account value at the end of year 3 is $115,000. All right. They want to take a full withdrawal at the beginning of year 4. So here's how it works. There's a withdrawal charge. The withdrawal charge only applies to the premium that the client brought to the table. And then the interest and bonus recovery only applies to any interest or bonus the client received. We put those two values together, as you see on the very bottom of your screen. If the client wanted to walk away, they'd get $92,250. And you might be thinking, well, Tim, they're calling back all the interest and everything. That's bad. Well, not really when you compare it, because we did this, when you compare it to other products out there. So that gray line represents those index annuities that have fees. All right, that green line represents Denali and the blue line is Teton. So if your client is planning on leaving early, hey, Denali's not for them. Go with Teton. But we're still higher than the gray line, which you're going to see to make sure Denali still stays competitive if there was an early escape, right? So I have to cover that. You got to love compliance. They make sure we talk about it. But that's how Denali works. It's that unnecessary drag and pumping the product full of energy to maximize that accumulation potential and no fee for the income rider. So when we look at the cash value comparison, all right, as I said before, look at this, all right? If you're planning on leaving early, go with Teton. If you're not and you're looking for a lifetime income, go with Denali. That power gap, as I said before, between the difference when we say, well, why does Teton have lower rates than Denali? It's because of that power gap that we've created in that cash value comparison. And again, it is still higher than other FIAs, especially those with fees. So here are the early withdrawal penalties. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. All of our product information, we have a microsite that I'm going to share with everybody at the end of the call today. But all this information can also be found on our website on our product highlight sheets. But here they are for the Denali series and also for the Denali bonus series. But let's get into the really important part of Denali, the lifetime withdrawal part, right? So with Denali, remember, all benefits are real. The benefits are real all the time because the benefits are based upon the account value. There's no phantom account. It is the account value that drives Denali. And because it's based upon the account value, guess what? There are no restrictions, meaning there's no maximum roll-up term, there's no benefit cap, nothing like that. There is a 1-year wait, though, before a client can turn on income. But the most beautiful thing is not only is there no charge for this, but step up. We've probably all talked about step up, but have we ever seen step up happen? But the answer is probably not, right? But with Denali, guess what? Step up can happen, and we're going to show you exactly how step up can happen to increase clients' income on Denali after they turn on the income rider. So here's how the lifetime withdrawal amount works. Remember, the benefit is real. So we look at the account value, we just multiply it by the lifetime withdrawal percentage. Pretty simple concept, right? We want to keep things simple. Pretty simple idea. Account value times the lifetime withdrawal percentage. What is that lifetime withdrawal percentage? Well, that's based upon if the client's going to be doing a single or joint payout and the age that they turn on income. Nothing different. It's just we're replacing a phantom account with a real account, a real benefit, which is the account value. Now here are those lifetime withdrawal percentages for Denali 7 and 10. take a look at these. As if any of you have written income riders in the past, all right, you're going to see that our payout percentages are very competitive. But I want to note something just real quick. So even though this grid only goes up by 5-year increments, let's say the client is 66 years old, all right, and they're doing a single payout. It's not on this grid, right? Well, there's a 10 basis point increase for each year until lifetime income withdrawals are elected. So if the client is 66, guess what? On a single payout, that's going to be 5.1%. That's going to be the payout percentage. So don't be fooled. We're not locked in every 5 years, all right? They go up until the client elects income by that 10 basis point. But again, single and joint payout for the 7 and 10. We have the payout percentages for the 14, just slightly lower. And then the payout percentages for the Denali bonus 7 and 10 as well. And the Denali bonus 14 also has an adjusted payout percentage. So there they are, all right? That's how the lifetime withdrawal works. Account value multiplied by one of these lifetime withdrawal percentages. But let's not stop talking about lifetime withdrawal just yet, because what we also have in Denali is wellness withdrawals. So if the client cannot perform 2 out of the 6 activities of daily living, we're going to double their lifetime income, all right, for a maximum of 5 years on a single payout, or it's going to be increased by 1.5 times for a maximum of 5 years on a joint payout. So again, those 6 ADLs, I think of it as a bed contract, BEDCTT, right? Bathing, eating, dressing, continence, toileting, transferring. Those are your 6 ADLs. If they cannot perform 2 out of 6, they can activate this benefit. Now, there is a 2-year wait before the wellness withdrawals can be activated. So keep it simple, right? 1-year wait before income can be activated, 2-year wait before the wellness withdrawals can be turned on. And again, those wellness withdrawals will pay out for a maximum of 5 years, and then it will revert back to the original lifetime income payout amount and continue for the rest of the client's life. Pretty cool feature. And guess what? What is the fee for that? Nothing, right? There is no fee for the wellness withdrawal benefit. There's also some liquidity inside of Denali. So we do allow for RMDs that is available immediately. We do not have the cumulative withdrawal feature on Denali, okay? But we do have a 5% free withdrawal after the first contract year. You have your annuitization factors right below the income bullet point. And we also offer home health care, nursing home, and terminal illness, okay? So if the client wants to access 100% of their account value, they can do that. Now, please note on the home health care, we do allow them to access 100% of their account value, but it's paid out back to them over a 5-year period. Nursing home and terminal illness is over a 1-year time frame. So we do have those. Check state availability to see if those riders, they're pretty much available in all states. I know there's 2 or 3 of them that don't have all those riders available. But again, those are those simple waivers that we probably see on most products, but we want to make sure that you know that they're on our products as well. Now, Denali not only offers really competitive lifetime income, which we're going to see in just a little bit, but I want to talk about what happens if the client dies, right? It's full account value at death, which includes the bonus if the bonus product was purchased, right? And we also offer spousal continuation. So it is not only a great way to create lifetime income for a client, but also wealth transfer by full account value at death. Or if the client's spouse wants to continue the contract, they can also do that. Now let's get in, before we talk base about our case studies, I think it's important we kind of touch base on our proprietary indices. So our very first one, if you remember, when we went through that history chart, our very first one was Atlas. That is with Barclays, all right? It is a global index that looks at 11 different equities and bonds. Yeah, we look at the S&P 500, but it also looks at the NASDAQ, the German stock index, the Euro stock, the IKEA, emerging markets. Now, Atlas is a volatility control index with a 5% target volatility mark. And it does that by looking at and going into not only the US 5 and 10-year bonds, but also Europe's 5 and 10-year bonds and the Japanese 5 and 10-year bonds as well. It is truly global, okay? So it's not stuck in just one market. It can hop, skip, and jump around as it sees fit. How does it do that? Well, what Atlas does is it looks at not only historical data, but trending data. All right, that is key. Now, I'm not the smartest guy in the room. I actually failed physics class, to be honest with everybody. But I did learn one thing. If a ball rolls downhill, it's going to keep rolling until something stops it, right? That's that momentum. That's that trending piece of Atlas. So Atlas tries to find that trends and momentum to really take advantage of all the accumulation possible. And then if it can't find it in that area, it can rebalance itself daily, which is huge. All right. Not a lot of indices can do that. Atlas can rebalance itself daily. Thus, Atlas has that tagline: it can truly be in the right place in the world at the right time. Now, Atlas has all 1-year strategies. So I just want to say this: all of our strategies, even those over 100% par rates, they're all 1-year strategies, okay? And again, there are no fees for Atlas. With Atlas, because of its ability to rebalance itself daily and the way that we budget our products, it can lead to consistent renewals. Now, if for more information on just how Atlas works, let's say you want to dig down to it, we can either we do Monday morning webinars each and every Monday on SILAC, or you can go check out that link right there, indices.barclays/Atlas, for more information. Now, I will say some states, Atlas cannot be illustrated in at this time. It's not because we don't want to be illustrated, it's because there's some requirements that Atlas cannot be illustrated there. But I want to note, Atlas is available on all the products in all the states where the product is available in, okay? So just because you can't illustrate it, the Atlas strategy is available. Now I want to kind of switch gears and really talk about our newest index. I was pretty excited when I got to look at Ravenpack, or Atlas, but with Ravenpack, all right? It complements not only the S&P, but also the Atlas index, all right? This is big. When we do things, we want to make sure it doesn't create internal competition. And with bringing on Ravenpack, it hasn't created competition with Atlas. Atlas is a global index. What you're going to see with Ravenpack, it's more of a domestic index. Why? Because it looks at the S&P 500, but it doesn't look at just the S&P 500. It looks at the sectors of the S&P 500. There's 11 sectors that the Ravenpack AI index looks at. There are the 11 sectors on your screen. Now, the Ravenpack index is also a volatility control index, and it uses the 2- and 10-year treasuries to adjust for that volatility. Now, with Ravenpack, it works a little bit different. Yeah, it looks at historical data, this and that, but it pays close attention to a value called sentiment, okay? Sentiment is basically, how does it make you feel? Does this news article make you feel good or bad? So it scours the internet looking for press releases, this and that, from accredited sources. And it gives it either a thumbs up or a thumbs down, pretty much emoji, right? Hey, this news article makes me feel great. This one doesn't. And it picks the top 4 sectors based upon the sentiment value each and every quarter. Now, the greatest thing about that is it picks the 4 sectors that it thinks it can perform, which we have all known could lead to a better market indicator, right? We used to look at earnings reports, labor reports, this and that. But guess what? All right, many people think the sentiment value of something is a better market predictor. And we're going to look just how Ravenpack works using that sentiment value to really pick out those 4 sectors, which could lead to awesome growth for the client in the form of interest credits. Now, with Ravenpack, we like to say we can really find clarity in the chaos. What does that mean? Well, we're going to go back to 2020, right? Probably a year we all want to forget, but I'm going to take you back anyways. So in 2019, all right, in Q1, Ravenpack said, where do we need to be? Well, we need to be in information technology, healthcare, financials, communication. Now, we got to remember, 2019, COVID was not quite in the United States yet. 2020 came around. We're still kind of unsure, but it had healthcare in there. It had information technology. It had financials and communication. But what happened between the first quarter and second quarter of 2020, right? COVID ramped up. There's no reason why healthcare wasn't picked as the #1 sector to be in. Communication, why? Well, people were probably working from home or starting to work from home. Consumer staples and energy popped in. You all know what happened, right? Now, Q2 to Q3, it changed again. Why? Well, remember, we all lived this, okay? It used that sentiment value to pick these sectors. Information technology. Why? We were all working from home. We needed to do things at home. Consumer discretionary, consumer staples. Look at that. Those into the world runs to Costco, those daily Amazon deliveries. There's no reason why consumer discretionary, consumer staples were not in there. But also materials. And you might be scratching your head saying, Tim, how did materials get in Q3? I don't know about you, but I tried to buy paintbrushes and 2x4s in Q3 and I couldn't buy them. All right, everybody was doing home projects. But in Q4, it switched again. Vaccines were coming out, still working from home. But look, healthcare jumped to #1. Communication was still there. Materials and consumer staples. This is how Raven Pack worked, okay? You can look at this index and say, I don't really understand how it works, but looking at this, you can say, yeah, I get it. It looks at the sentiment value and it did exactly what I did, right? That's Raven Pack. It's a beautiful index, but I don't want to draw attention away from Atlas or other ones, but Raven Pack is definitely something you should look at. Now, over the last 10 years, I love showing this chart. Like I said, we don't have a crystal ball. And guess what? There is not one index that's always the best. And I think this chart tells that story. Yeah, there's going to be some years that Atlas did phenomenal. There's going to be some years Raven Pack did phenomenal. But look at the S&P annual point-to-point with cap. It beat them all in 1 year, right? So, like I said before, there's not one index that is always the best. We don't know what the future is going to hold, but because of our caps and rates, they are all big players to look at. Now, if you haven't seen this yet, on the top right-hand side of your screen, look at that last column. That is our boost strategy. And the way that the boost works is it simply adds that amount to the index performance. So think of it like a negative spread. So let's say the boost was 175 in this example, and Raven Pack was up 5%. We're going to take 5 plus 175, and that's going to be the interest credit that the client's going to receive. But you see in years 5 and 8, it was zeros for the par rates, but it was positive for the boost. Why? Because Raven Pack was slightly down, but with that boost, it was able to add that positive back in and turn that negative back into a positive, allowing that client to receive a positive interest credit. Better yet, with that being said, in the back test, there's no zeros in the last 10 years on the boost strategy. Now, I can't guarantee there's not going to be zeros in the future, but according to the last 10 years, there wasn't with our boost strategy. That is a pretty impressive story for an index to tell, right? Now, I love showing this slide, and I got to give the S&P 500 respect, right? The S&P 500 can truly perform, all right? But when we look at custom indexes, check this out. We had the top 2 custom indexes if we had Raven Pack in 2020. Not only do we have great products, not only do we have great rates, but we had the top 2 custom indexes in 2020. That is the performance. That is what you're going to get when doing business with SILAC. Now, putting that all together, we learned about Denali, and here's just a few bullet points on Raven Pack. Just want to jump through. It went live in 2017. Again, just like Atlas, they're all 1-year strategies. They can't be illustrated in all states. But really what I wanted to get to is we looked at how these indices work. We looked at how Denali is created and the opportunities Denali can provide your clients. Let's see how it looks on paper, right? Let's see how Denali performs with some case studies. So the very first one I'm going to look at, all right, it's going to be the Denali 14 plain Jane illustration. Probably many of you run on a day in and day out basis. We're just going to defer income for 10 years, okay? But to be fair on this one, I'm going to show 50% going into the monthly point-to-point with cap, and then also 50% going into Atlas. Let's take a look just what you're going to see. So when you run an illustration with SILAC, this is what you're going to see. This is actually from the illustration software. On the top right-hand corner, you see 8.24%. You're thinking, wow, what is that number, right? All that is the average of the first 10 years. But look at some of those. All right, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years of double-digit returns. That is huge. Why is it so big? Well, because remember, with Denali, our account value drives everything. which also is the driver, if you remember, to create that lifetime income amount. So after 10 years, our 100,000 grew to 220. We apply that payout percentage, right? Because the client deferred income for 10 years, boom, they're going to start receiving 11,585. Now, don't forget about the wellness benefit. So if they couldn't perform 2 out of 6 ADLs, guess what? It's going to double on a single payout, which this is what this illustration is showing. But guess what happened? We turned on income, and you might be thinking, all right, account value went down. No. In this illustration, actually what happened is we got a really good interest credit, and our account value went up. Income step up. So the new income the next year, the client jumped up to $11,712. It happened. Step up is real with Denali, okay? But better yet, take a look all the way out to age 80. We started this contract with 100,000. We turned on income after 10 years. Our account value at age 80 is still well over that $100,000 premium, 280,000. We withdrew at this point in time over 136,000. You put those two numbers together at that point, that means the total benefit of this contract in this illustration at age 80 was over $400,000. That is impressive. That's an awesome story to tell, that you got an awesome account value, but you're still getting income, and your income has the possibility to grow with those awesome interest credits. But let's take it just one step further, right? Because maybe the 14 isn't available. Maybe the client doesn't want to be locked in a contract for 14 years. Let's look at a 7-year contract. Same story, but this time I want to show how Atlas and Ravenpack can work together. So we allocated 50% to Atlas and 50% to Ravenpack. Remember, this is a 7-year contract. Let's take a peek. So there's our annual effective rate, almost 7.9%. Why? Because of those beautiful interest credits we saw, right? We still have double-digit returns on a 7-year contract. But let's take a look at what the account value is, right? Because that's the driver of this contract. 100,000 goes in. After 10 years, it grew to 213. We turn on income, boom, 11,754. Remember, this is a 7-year contract, okay? We still have the doubler, okay, the wellness withdrawal benefit, right? But guess what happens on this illustration too? Our account value grew even after we started taking income. So the new income the client would see the next year in this illustration, 12,262. Wow, right? On a 7-year contract, we're seeing step up. That is a big, big deal. But look at the account value at age 80 after we started taking income, 254,586. We withdrew 134,753, meaning our total benefit is almost 390,000 at age 80. Now, that's a pretty powerful 7-year product, all right? That is a big, big deal. So we got you covered. Don't think, you know, our 14-year is the biggest one. Our 7-year is just as powerful and can lead to just as much accumulation, all right? And I think this illustration shows that story very, very well. Now, I got to wrap it up here just a little bit, but I want to show everybody that, you know, we really have to think outside the box for our clients, right? Because a lot of these cases come in, they say, Tim, look, I got a client like this. They want to accumulate assets without risking losing any money, but they also want lifetime income, and they might need some miscellaneous money later in life. And you're thinking, well, Teton has that cumulative withdrawal. Denali has a lifetime income, but it doesn't have cumulative withdrawals. So what product do I look at? And you're kind of scratching your head, right? Well, let's think outside the box. We don't have to choose one product all the time. We can choose both. So for this client, he had 500,000. We could split the funds between Teton and give him that cumulative withdrawal if he needs miscellaneous money later in life, and Denali to satisfy his lifetime withdrawal needs, but also give him the wellness withdrawals if he needs those as well. So our products, just like our indices, work very well together. In this sample, look at this. On the 14-year product, all right, after 6 years, the client didn't take any withdrawals. Their account value was 387. 30% of that, almost $117,000 they can pull from it, right? Because Teton has cumulative withdrawals if you don't take a withdrawal. On Denali, 250 went into this illustration. If the client waited 5 years, their income would have been just over 19,000. They waited 10 years, almost 33. And if they waited all the way out to age 80, almost $98,000. So we got you covered, okay? Don't think you got to choose one product all the time. Our products work very well together, and this is the perfect example. So if you have a client like this, guess what? You can do 2 products. It's just 2 apps, a little bit more handwriting, but that's it. We got Firelight. IAMS has Firelight. So, hey, you got that covered. So think outside the box when you see a client just like that. Now, here are those state approvals for the Denali 7. So we're at 38 states. Yes, we are constantly working on new state approvals. Our Denali 10, same thing. We got 38 states. And then our 14-year, slightly below that 38. But again, I want to assure everybody, we are working on more state approvals each and every day. So just take a look. We announce those when they come out. It's something we're working on because we do want to eventually cover that map in blue. Now the exciting part, probably everybody is what you want to see, right? What are some real interest credits, Tim, that clients have seen with you? And what about your renewals? You have great first-year rates, but what about your renewals? Well, let's take a peek at those. So we're going to first talk about interest credits on our Teton. All right, this is huge. These are real interest credits on a Teton bonus 14. Why am I showing a bonus 14? Because that had the lowest caps and rates, right? Because of that big bonus, okay, on the 14-year chassis, okay? Look at that. We still saw double-digit returns. Huge interest credits. Same thing for Denali bonus. Look at that. 1, 2, 3 strategies saw double-digit returns. Real interest credits, okay? But better yet, let's follow it up with renewals. So Teton, believe it or not, it's 3 years old, okay? Year 2, yeah, remember year 2 was a rough year. Volatility was really high, okay? So some of the caps and rates have been adjusted. But guess what happened this year? Volatility went down. What did we do? We raised caps and rates. We don't need to pocket it. We give it back to the client. These are real renewals on the 3rd year of Teton, all right? How many of you know carriers that actually raise rates in the 3rd year? We do. We just proved it, okay? We do something special. We do that. We look at how we can put it back in the form of renewals and give it back to the client. But better yet, on Denali Bonus 14, we did the same thing, all right? Denali was launched in a very volatile market. The caps and rates weren't really the best, right? But it was all we could afford. Because volatility went down, we could afford more, and we raised those caps and rates on renewals. These are real renewals on Denali Bonus 14. I think that paints the perfect picture. So you're not in it just for the first year. The client's not in it just for the first year. They're in it for the longevity. I love showing those renewal slides because it paints the picture of that transparency and consistency that we at SILAC live by to really help you and your clients. Now to wrap things up, I know IAMS has a phenomenal trip coming up, but so do we, okay? So I think IAMS trip, if I remember correctly, Laura, was at the end of August. You could go to Japan at the beginning of August. How about that, all right? Take the whole month of August off and travel the world. But qualification period is, it started back in 2020. It's gonna end in 2021, December 31st. We are going to Japan. That's going to be August 2nd, August 2nd to the 7th of 2022. It's going to be 5 million. And we're going to take the top 60 producers over 5 million. So don't think that you don't have time to qualify. I know each and every one of you know a ton of clients. All it takes is just a lot of work, and you can do that with the SILAC products. So with that, I'm going to wrap things up. There's our microsite on the top left-hand corner. You don't need a password to get in there. So if you're new to SILAC, call Laura, get appointed. And while you're getting appointed, check out that microsite. You can access all of our product information, including our indexing information on Atlas and Ravenpack. So with that, Laura, I'm going to turn it back over to you. Thank you very much for having me today. And I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Perfect. Thank you, Tim. I am going to throw up one more question real quick for a launch and a poll. You know, if you are interested in getting appointed with SILAC, I will say that my assistant, Dustin, after today, after the meeting, will be sending out all the information that was covered today. But if you are looking at getting appointed, go ahead and answer yes to the question up on your screen. That will remind us to send you out the contracting link to get set up with SILAC as well. So, really appreciate you all taking time out of your day. And I look forward to talking with each of you following the webinar. Have a great day. Thanks, Tim.
Thanks, Laura. Have a great day, everybody.